Wonder Woman issue 75, G. Willow Wilson writing with Zermanico and Jesus Marino on the art. This is obviously oversized anniversary issue, as all the 75s have been. Mm-hmm.
There was a third artist as well.
Oh, was it?
Cifuentes.
Oh.
Okay.
That's how you say that. Snap. No idea.
Cifuentes, yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So this is them basically training a little bit with Maggie to ultimately go into Themyscira, because there is a portal in the sky leading back to Themyscira, because the worlds are essentially spinning away from each other.
Yeah, so the way I thought about it was like a funnel cloud and a reverse funnel cloud, right? And they meet in the middle, right?
Sure.
Like, do you ever make those in science? The two bottles? And...
I probably did.
Anyways.
It's been a long time.
Yeah. Anyways, just shows centrifugal force and whatnot.
Yeah. So eventually we see Grail. Grail has Themyscira. She has Hippolyta, kind of prisoner.
And a bunch of Amazons kind of going, yeah, sure, we'll follow you.
Yeah, who have sided with Grail. So there's some traitors in the midst. And Diana parties a little bit with the Amazon she meets in the Chi dimension. Sorry, the Kai dimension, if Matt wants to correct me again.
I was waiting for it, I'm not going to
lie. Yeah. So there's some doubts. There's some training with Maggie, who's just kind of learning to fight for the first time. They acknowledge that it's kind of... she has to go because she has the sword, and the sword's bonded with her, but it is going to be dangerous. And who knows how this will go. So, yeah, they kind of go in. The issue is actually way more straightforward, I think, than I was expecting for the return to Themyscira.
Yeah, but I can appreciate that. There's no need to overcomplicate it just for the sake of it.
There's that, and it picks up on threads that I'm glad that it did. You know, the stuff with Grail and her still wanting to rule, you know, because she's part dark side and that's her thing. And, you know, it picks up on Izzy, Kale, and Diana, and, you know, it's not just about her mom, as I almost forgot about that. Like, it's also, she promised Veronica she'd keep Izzy safe.
Yeah, and that's a really good part. That's probably my favorite part of the story, actually, is when Grail retreats to the cave and grabs Izzy as a shield and like threatens to kill her.
Yep.
It's a really dark moment, and it's like, oh shit, yes, Veronica's daughter. The stakes are heavy right now.
Yep.
So I like that it's bringing that stuff back from obviously Rucka's run, which is nice. You know, and obviously Diana reuniting with her mother is pretty good too. I guess what I mean is I never thought that the return to Themyscira would just be something they casually do in the middle of an issue. I guess I always figured that there'd be an end of an issue at some point where, oh shit, she's back in Themyscira, cliffhanger. That's, you know.
I think I know, I get that, and I think had this not been an oversized thing, that's probably what would have happened. But when you're doing these oversized, you know, 75. I mean, when was the last time we were in Themyscira? I mean,
Rucka.
Year one, really.
Yeah.
So, well, I guess what I'm saying is that the actual trip to Themyscira, like, it feels so easy. And I know they make it, I mean, it's not like there's a mistake. Like, they set up a reason why they can get there. It feels like, oh yeah, that's just, they're just hopping through a little portal. No big deal.
Yeah.
No, but
in having gone through a complete, like, dimension to get here to this point.
I know.
And
they went through Tartarus, right? And then into Dimension Chi, and then from Dimension Chi, they found a hole in reality and got to Themyscira.
Yeah, I feel like they just go through a portal is kind of undermining the entire journey.
Well, no, because I'm just saying that the moment itself doesn't feel like that big of a deal, when it feels like it should be a big deal.
But I feel like that's issue 75 is now, you know, when you used to look in the back of Wizard and they would have like key issues listed. So this would be like Wonder Woman volume, whatever this is, 75, and it would be like Return to Themyscira, and that's what makes it a notable issue. And I'm glad they stuck that landing here.
The page where she sees the portal and you can see Themyscira on the other side for the first time, I think that is played as a huge moment.
I mean, I like the issue a lot. I'm not trying to diss the issue. I'm just saying that I think the moment itself where it's just them coming into Themyscira, the moment itself doesn't feel as big as it felt like it should have been to me.
I hear Pete saying that it should be kind of event worthy, you know.
Like, this is the first time she's gotten back to Themyscira since she left, right, in her origin story.
Yeah, I think the moment you're wanting comes next issue. She doesn't even have time to process that right now. She's got to stop Grail.
No.
I like next time.
And I like too that Diana has Grail dead to rights, but you know, she lets her go so they can actually have this fight.
Oh yeah, because you know
she can defeat her.
because as she's talking about in her narration, you know, villains and people who don't have morals have an easier time fighting because they'll do anything to win. They don't have to. They're not bound by any kind of morals or anything like that.
That's such wrestling 101 too, right?
Yeah.
Like
healing
when you're watching and the heel's just doing, you know, and then you're like, why don't you do anything? Well, because you can't. And yeah.
Joe, I think it is actually. Joe, I think would have made the moment feel better for me. I think the reason why it feels small to me at the moment where they come through is that the idea of Grail being in charge in Themyscira and having Hippolyta held prisoner is something that we just learned about last issue and only see for the first time this issue. I almost think we should have been seeing Grail's reign in Themyscira over a little bit of time, so that when Diana shows up with the army to save the day, it feels like a bigger deal. I
don't know. I feel like I prefer being with Diana here, because otherwise I would have felt like, that's fine, Connor, but
I'm gonna side with Pete here, and that instead of having that Dimension Kai issue that was just a nothing, give us a Grail issue.
I mean, honestly, should have just not had an issue there at all. Really, that should have just been okay. Well, we're skipping it.
No, but that would have been better though. And I think even if you're not going to do that, I think it should have just been a subplot. I think we should have been seeing Grail and Themyscira for the last arc and see just a reign of terror or whatever.
For me, I like more not seeing Themyscira until Diana does.
I get the thematic concept of doing that, and sometimes that works really well. I think the problem here, though, is that Diana's arrival in Themyscira is this big. She's here with the cavalry to save the day. So the perspective we're looking at this moment from is a moment where, oh shit, help has finally arrived, and it's going to stop Grail. But because we've not been with Grail, because we've not seen what she's been doing that's so awful, we've only just seen her briefly in this issue, it doesn't have the culmination effect that it otherwise would. It kind of feels like you said, the moment where Diana sees the portal is kind of the biggest moment for her, realizing that she's going to get to go back. But because of that, it deflates this moment because it's not the big arrival that it feels like it should be to me.
I mean, sure. I think it's fine because we do. For me, it's fine because we do get the moment where she sees it. You know, seeing it's within reach. It's not going to be hard to get home now. That is the moment where it's like, oh, she's back. Essentially, it is. That's the way this issue plays that, because for her, it's like it's right there. That's it. You know, all this time, and she's there now. Essentially, even though she's not physically set foot there, in her head, she's already there. Because...
Like I said, though, there's a combination. There's a combination of not really feeling the threat on Themyscira initially that much. So the actual cavalry coming through doesn't feel like a big moment. So you combine that with it not being like a big moment that she's back in Themyscira on its own. It feels a little bit deflated to me in the moment. I was reading that, obviously I'm enjoying the comic. I think the comic's well written, and I'm liking all the character beats and the action beats. All the action scenes look great. I just had that feeling during the fight in Themyscira when they're all fighting each other and whatnot, where I'm like, that just feels like the next casual plot. It doesn't feel like it feels like the moment she returns to Themyscira should be one of the tent poles, of the whole run. The one of the benchmark things where there's before she returned to Themyscira and there's after she returned to Themyscira. It didn't really feel like that in this show. It just kind of felt like, this is just the casual next part of the plot.
No, fair enough. For me, the moment where she sees it, and then also the moment at the end as well, where fighting's finished, it's done, and she has the moment with her mother. Where she sees that moment, that full page.
The moment the mother's good.
That because it's not about it says she maybe she was on Themyscira, but she wasn't home while it was still occupied by a foreign force. With Grail. It was just, okay, now that's the moment where she's home, is that final moment.
Well, and I like, too, they have Philippus looking on with Izzy, right?
Yeah.
So that's real cool. Also, we get this sword, too, that's going to become important that Grail has. And it's called God Killer, which I was like, couldn't you just name it God Slayer? That's a much better name.
Yeah, which, of course... the offer at the end. Well, I wouldn't count this as one of the offer stuff that's done well. At least this one has more context because they set up this sword during the issue. So when Cheetah gets it at the end, it's like, oh, okay.
Oh, that's where it went.
Yeah. So Cheetah's going to be using it. Okay.
Which I thought too. I go, that's weird. As it was going on, I was like, her sword just disappears. I was like, maybe this is the gods.
It wasn't mentioned again. It was like
right. And I thought, maybe this is the gods intervening. Now that Diana's back on Themyscira. That's righted certain things because we've seen Ares, right? And Aphrodite. And then, no, Luther made it disappear because he's all powerful now as Apex Lex. Sounds a little annoying.
Obviously, I think the Hippolyta hug at the end is probably the biggest moment of the book. It's it's the emotional payoff that works really well.
I think the panel before actually works best for me. When she's finally got the moment and she starts to cry.
So, no. And again, I don't want to say like I'm being. I actually think this issue is really good. I think there's just a feeling of it's not as big as it feels like it should be, in a weird way. In terms of like feeling like a major story beat, kind of like I'm trying to think of a comparable beat in another arc that I can say that's that thing. And I can't think of one, so I'll leave it. But they definitely exist.
Okay.
They definitely exist.
This is definitely more of the stuff that I like. Plus, we're getting Cheetah back. So.
Oh yeah, I'm always pumped for Cheetah. Wilson's not really done much with Cheetah yet, right? This is the first time she's popped up in the book, I think.
First time we're really seeing Barbara Ann. She's been palling around with Luther.
Yeah, she'll be off in Justice League and whatnot. Yeah. No, that show was solid. That show was good. I've been liking Wilson's run. I don't think I've liked anything yet as much as the first arc, admittedly, but it's still been really solid.
Yeah.
So, no.
Yeah, I'm curious to see where it's going now that she's been back. Now we gotta get the gods. What's been going on there? There's still some mysteries going. Like why were the Titans? We still haven't gotten to the end of that because we had the Atlantiades.
Oh, I did really like that 2 or 3 issue Titans thing with Giganta.
Mm-hmm.
I really like that
arc. All that's still there, and we also got Atlantiades here, in full Amazonian armor, right?
Yeah,
and she comes and pacifies them, which is pretty cool.
They were using the power, with the blinding white light. It's kind of fantastic.
Yeah. So it was that was pretty cool, and Wilson definitely. This isn't like I don't even feel like this is the halfway point of what she's doing. So.
Oh no, not at all. This still feels like we're cleaning up threads from previous things. She's not really started her own thing yet.
Yeah, I feel like reestablishing Themyscira in some way is going to be the kind of what the point of this run might be actually, and that's just about a start after we get done with this arc.
Yeah,
probably.
I feel like okay, we're doing Cheetah next, which almost feels like that'll probably be the start of one of her own plots, if that makes sense. Introducing something that she can do herself rather than just okay, we're picking up Themyscira, we're doing those things.
Yeah, so no, 75, really solid. So Matt, what are you giving it?
I'm gonna 7.5.
All right, Connor.
I'm gonna go with an 8. I will say it would have been an 8.5 if the art had been more consistent. I did feel the shifting artists.
Yeah. I'm probably agree with Matt and go with 7.5. I like the issue quite a bit, but it is lacking a little bit of the punch I thought in places. So, no, I'm looking forward to what's next though. I think the run's been really exciting at times, and looking forward. It's still one of the ones I'm looking forward to the most every month though, as well. So,
as long as Orlando's not writing it, right?
Because as long as Orlando's not writing it.